Well, it hadn't even been a week since my last video about energy prices, and it looks like OVO wanted to date my video even quicker than I thought I would. Now, I promised everyone who clicked subscribe that I would follow this and keep it updated as and when, and I wasn't planning on making a video about updating energy tariffs for EV drivers for a number of weeks. So thanks OVO for ruining my plans, because they doubled their price since the video went out, and I thought I'd better revisit for anyone who thought OVO was a good choice at the time of that video and talk about what your possible options are. So stick around for today's video if you're an OVO customer who's currently on their anytime drive tariff and thinking, what do I do now? Now, this isn't the first stupid mistake OVO have made this year. In fact, earlier on in the year, they dumped thousands of Ohme customers. So people who had Ohme chargers fitted by OVO were told very short notice, in my opinion, that they would no longer be supported on their anytime tariff and would have to find a new way to connect to that tariff or move to a non-fixed tariff. Now, my advice then, and my advice still now, is that you should switch to Octopus Energy. Octopus Energy are offering £50 for anyone who switches to them. If you go to evnic.com/energy, you can find that code to get that £50 credit when you switch to them, and a whole host of other tariffs they do. Now, more about Octopus later. Let's get back to what OVO have actually done to their customers and how some customers might actually benefit from their new tariff. So what's happened since my last video? Well, since my last video, OVO were charging customers 7p to charge their electric car. It didn't include the house load, it just included the car, 7p, and I thought for a few people it was a fair rate. If you didn't want to do any load shifting or you didn't want to worry about it, you could just have the car charged at 7p, not worry about any load shifting, and you had a slightly cheaper peak rate. Some people preferred it and they didn't want to, mess around with load sharing, but it was a decent-ish rate at 7p, but now they've moved it to 14p, which is double 7p. I mean, I'm not great at maths, but 14 from 7 is definitely double. So they've doubled it for customers. Again, short-term notice, and they have introduced some different packages. So you don't have to go to the 14p. They have some packages where you can pay a monthly set rate and get some deals on that. So let's discuss that a little bit more. So they have introduced 4 packages, and the packages work out, believe it or not, a little bit more than 14p a kilowatt hour, but they come with some other benefits that may benefit you as a driver. And depending on your mileage, you need to pick a different package. So the package that starts at £27.50 is for 175 kilowatt hours of energy. The next package up from that is another tenner, that's for 250 kilowatt hours. Then the next package after that goes to £59.50, and that's for 350 kilowatt hours of energy. And then another £20 on top of that price gives you 500 kilowatt hours of power. Now, each package includes a few perks, with the top 3 offering quick fit, club subscription discounts, EV charger cover, and a battery health check from ClearWatt. Now, we'll get to ClearWatt in a bit, because that is actually genuinely a good proposal, but there's a better way of getting it than paying it through OVO. Next, we have a £120 credit for the bottom 2 packages for public charging. So if you're doing quite a bit of public charging, this can be beneficial. The top 2 packages get £240 worth of public charging. So again, if you're doing a lot of public charging, then these could be beneficial. The £120 even on the lower package, if you're doing a lot of public charging, can be beneficial. Now, most people with a home charger aren't going to be doing public charging. Most people with a home charger will be mainly charging at home, unless you've got a very, very small battery EV and you're doing a very large commutes. But the majority of you with a home charger will already know that most of your charging is done at home and not in the public. And if you're wanting a subscription package, people like Octopus do subscription packages as well, but more on them later. Let's get back to that battery health check from ClearWatt. Now, ClearWatt is actually a product I use at work. I absolutely love the guys at ClearWatt. So what they actually do is they allow me to do battery health checks on a car. Now, they have 3 methods of doing this. I can drive the car, they can work out from the GRM, because you have the phone and the battery percentage drops, what the battery health is. They can also do it from charging data. They can do it basically a whole host of ways. They're very, very clever. And why is that important? Well, the health of your battery determines the range of your car, and not always can, in my opinion, the manufacturer's state of health be relied upon. This gives it like an independent verification that it's within where you expect it to be and can keep a constant eye on your battery. Having a good battery health not only is good to know if you need to claim it on the warranty, but also seeing what the range potential is of your car based on its actual health and the resale value of when you come to sell it. Having a battery health tech there is important, which is why I provide them with all cars that I sell. Now, if you are thinking of buying a used EV, you might want to consider getting a ClearWatt check done on the car that you're buying. And if you're buying a used car from not me as a dealer, you might want to get a report done on the car to see if it's got finance, see if it's been stolen. ClearWatt do that as well, and they are offering 10% off if you use code EVNIC10. You can go to evnic.com/SOH if you want to get a check, and you get 10% off all their checks, whether it's just a plain battery check for your EV that you already own, or if you want to do a full check to see if it's got finance and see if it's been stolen before you buy a used EV. Now, Octopus have free tariffs available to you as an OVO customer if you're switching over. If you go to evnic.com/energy, you can get £50 when you sign up to Octopus using my referral link that's already there, and it explains all the Octopus tariffs, but I'm going to briefly explain the free to you now. One is Octopus Go. That's available to any EV charger. It gives a set rate. It's about 8p, I think, from last time I checked. And that gives you a fixed hours of 5 hours every single night at that 8p. And then you can use it for the house and the car. The two tariffs that require the car or the charger to be compatible with Octopus is Octopus Go Intelligent and Octopus Drive Pack. Now, Octopus Drive Pack is a subscription package similar to the subscription package that OVO are now offering. However, it's £30 a month, making it £2 more, £50 more expensive than the cheapest OVO package. But for that extra £2.50, you don't get 175 kilowatt hour restriction that OVO are giving you. You get unlimited charging. So if you are a high mileage user and you're thinking about those OVO high mileage packages, the Octopus Go Intelligent is going to be far, far cheaper than OVO's top package, and you get as much as you like for that £30. Now, the tariff that might benefit you if you don't want to do load shifting, but for me, the best tariff is Octopus Go Intelligent. Octopus Go Intelligent gives you 7p electric, not just for the car, but for the house as well. And most importantly, this is the most important part, if Octopus decide to charge you outside the normal 7p off peak hours, so normally 11:30 till 5:30 every day is 7p electric. If they decide to charge you today between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m, you will get 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 7p for the house and the car, plus the hours between 11:30 and 5:30 in the morning on top of the car charging hours that you've already had, even if the car isn't charging at the nighttime deal. I mean, that's pretty much amazing. And it means you can do load shifting if you wish. If you don't want to do load shifting, trust me, you will when you get this tariff. Everyone always does. Everyone says they're not going to, and then they do. It's an amazing tariff to save some money on. Now, if you want to learn more about Drive Pack, see that video here. If you want to learn how about OVO dropped Ohme, see this video here.